Hi, welcome to Tech Dicted. Today we will be looking at JavaScript variables. That is one of the programming concepts that you must know. It's actually very basic, and so it will take us roughly 5-10 minutes. And yeah, so that's where we're getting started from. So first, you need to start with definitely it's HTML, so it's syntax. I'm using VS Code, and so it's an IDE which allows me to variables. So I hope you already know a little bit of HTML and CSS, and so now we're just rushing into JS. I will just brush through. Doc type identifies the type of document. For our case, it's HTML, specifically HTML5. It's language, which is English. So this is the basic syntax. This is where you start from. You may add more things, do whatever, but this is where you start. You must have this for your program to run well, or your website to communicate well with the others and with in the web browser. So you declare, you state the language you're using, which is HTML. The markup language you're using, which is HTML. State the language, which is English. N stands for English. Then the chasset, this is character encoding. I will do a tutorial on that, but for now, just know the character encoding that we currently use is UTF-8. And then state the viewport. Viewport allows whatever you write to expand and decrease depending on the viewport, depending on different screens. Then now we have our title. This title is what is shown here. Here. So if I reload this page, it's already saved. If I reload, I should be able to see it here. Let's go live again. I'm using something called Live Server. It's an extension in VS Code which allows me to easily view what I'm doing, and it automatically updates once my file is saved. So this is the title, variables. If I change it here, variables, and then save, it should automatically change it here. Okay, and basically that's it. So we have the head and the body. The body contains everything that is seen on your screen on this blank space. That's why there's nothing, because that's what we write in the body. So for example, if I do a H1, this is a heading. Don't know what's wrong. Let me read. Okay, H1. Depending on the IDE or text editor, you may not be able to automatically do this, so you may have to type everything out. So H1, and then we say Doreen. I am Doreen Chemueno. I'm forgetting my name. Chemueno. So if I save it, you should be able to see it appearing here on the screen. Voila. Yeah, so now we can get started on the JavaScript. That's the basics of HTML. You will learn more. This is an element. These are attributes. So HTML is all about tags, which are this, opening, closing. HTML is all about tags and attributes. There's nothing more you write. Okay, it's very easy. If you want me to do a tutorial, you can just request and I will do it. But for now, let's rush into the JavaScript. So we were talking about variables. I already created files, so I have my variable.js here. It's just empty for now. So a variable is basically a name of a storage location. So let's say I want to store number 2. Then I need a variable where I will place the number 2 for me to be able to access it later on. Okay? Well, it may sound weird. Why don't I just write 2? But in most cases, you don't know you may not know what the value is you want. Okay, so for that you need a variable. For example, we could just write console.log allows us to display things, anything we're writing on our inspect elements console. I will just show you that right now. So we say 2 plus 2. We can just do that, okay, and save. It reloads. Here, just right click on your mouse and then click inspect element, or you can also choose to do the control shift inspect, control shift I. Okay, so when I do that, I should have, yes, this. Let me just add it so that it appears. Okay, we can just have it this way, since, yeah. So once we have it here, let's see. Let me just add it. Let it be below there, okay, so that I don't have to keep on moving screen to screen. Okay, let's reload and see. We have one message. Sorry, that's not important. Okay, let's see what's not happening. Oh, yeah. So there's something, we need to link them. Sorry, I forgot this. It's really basic. We need to link. So for us to be able to read it through this index.html file, we need to write this code. Source. Then the JS is variable. You can just do this for it to show you. Variable.js. Do you see it there? And we close. Again, HTML deals with tags and attributes, or elements and attributes. This is a tag, and this is one of its attributes. Okay, source is an attribute in script. Okay, yeah. So now we can proceed. So if we save it, now I think yes, 4. You see, 4 is printed. So you can automatically just write console.log this plus this, okay? Or optionally, you can use variables to store these values and then access them when you need to use them, okay? So let's try that. We are currently using ES6, and therefore we use let and const. Let and const. Let allows you to declare variables that are not fixed. That means you can change its value. Okay, you can reassign it anytime. Then the other one, it's const, does not allow you to change it. So once you declare a const, you cannot reassign it. We will see that later. So we can say var a, let a is equal to const, let's use pi, is equals to 3.14. okay, it's not necessarily that it be pi, it can be anything else. Okay, let's just use something else so that you don't get confused. Then const b is equal to 3. Okay, now let's see what happens. A plus b, then save it. Let's look at this part. A plus b is equal to 5, which is true. 3 plus 2 is 5. So these are variables. Okay, this is a variable, this is a constant. Okay, then we can say, let's try reassigning. Okay, we can say a is equal to 6, b is equal to 4, and then save. Let's see what happens. We get an error. The error says an assignment to constant variable. Okay, we said before you cannot assign something else, another value to a constant variable. That's why it brings the error. So therefore our b will remain the same. It's a constant. Save it. Now we have no errors and you can look at the info. Yeah, answer is 9. 6 plus 3 is 9. Basically, that's a variable. So a variable can be in two ways, either local or global. So far we have declared them globally, and therefore I think you have already learned functions, and therefore, okay, I will just talk about it again since we need it. So a function sum. So basically a function is a group of statements that perform a given task. Okay, so in our case we want this function to calculate sum, okay, of given values. So in our case we can say we just copy this, we just cut this, okay, and then we paste it here. Sorry, I've messed it up. Cut it, paste it, save it. Okay, nothing will happen, no messages will be displayed because a function needs to be called. So we call it this way, sum basic, right? And then save. And the answer is 9. Now, another example would be this function. Right now we have declared this globally. Okay, global variables. Whatever I've just written, that's a comment. A comment is used to explain or document, okay, and it won't be seen in the browser or depending on any other programming language wherever it's being wherever the program is being displayed. Okay, so in our case this won't be displayed in the browser. Okay, so we're done. That's a global variable. Now let's say we declare another variable. Let c is equal to 3, and then this is a local variable. Right now this is a local variable, and that means it can only be used within this function. If we used an if statement, then it will only be used within that if statement. Okay, so in this case, when we say console, let's try and see what happens if we say console.log c. Save it. Let's look at it. We get an error. Uncaught reference, c is not defined, meaning c is not defined because it's defined internally in the sum function and therefore cannot be accessed out of the sum function. So let's remove it. Try again inside here. Control V. Let's do concatenation so that we can label it. This is a local variable plus. Okay, save. Now we have no errors and 2 info. This is a local variable. Sorry for that. Yeah, this is a local variable. This is okay, that's good. So something that is global can be accessed anywhere. One that's local can only be accessed within its function or if statement or the part of the code where it has been declared. Okay, basically that's it. Yeah, so we've learned variables and constants, and I hope you appreciate them. Mostly variables are important. For example, I have a here, I have a here. Let's say I did sum. Okay, after sum I did control copy, Control V. Let me just show you why it's important to use variables instead of just writing 2, 3, 5, 7. Okay, I have sum, I have division or quotient, whichever you prefer, division, and I have multiplication. So in the case that I have these three, copy this. I use Control C for copy, Control V for paste, just in case you wonder what I'm doing here right now. Yeah, so in this case we have here it's multiplication and here division. Okay, save it and run. 18, 2, I think these are right, right? These are right. So now, assuming I want to change this A to be 50. No, sorry, not this A, because this A will do nothing since we have reassigned it here. Once you reassign, this is ignored, this is taken. The one that comes last is the one that's used. So assuming we have A is, here was 2, let's just maintain it at 2 and then change this to 60. Or let's change this to 30. Assuming we have this, then these values will change, okay, appropriately. Now, imagine you had written here 30, whatever the value was here, you had written it here. This means you will have to go to every instance where you wrote A or B, and then repeat, write 2, write 3, write whatever you're supposed to change. I hope you get me. So the importance of variables, that is one major way for you to, it's easier for you to work with only one location of change other than 50. Okay, this is a very tiny program, but in the case that you have 1,000 lines of code, you need them to be unified somewhere. Yeah, so basically this is it for variables. I hope to see you in the next lesson, and yeah, if you're around Eldoret, join our classes if you want. Yeah, have a good time. Thank you.